Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Rico Dowdle, chasing 1,000 yards, a bright spot for Cowboys. The words 1,000 and yards were never formed into a full question before Dallas Cowboys running back Rico Dowdle answered. That's how many yards Dowdle needs in the Cowboys' final 4 games to reach 1,000. In a season full of team disappointment with a 5-8 record and playoff talk dismissed the way Jim Mora dismissed it so many years ago, playoffs? An individual milestone is still in play for Dowdle. How much does he want to reach that mark? I definitely want it, he said. Definitely I'm trying to do it. That'd be nice to get, my first 1,000-yard season. Definitely want to do it. It's out there, so trying to. Dowdle leads the Cowboys with 731 rushing yards on 152 carries, both career highs. That he has a chance at 1,000 yards is remarkable in a way, considering the start of the season. The Cowboys began with Dowdle and Ezekiel Elliott as a running back by committee. At different times, Dalvin Cook and Deuce Vaughn got some looks as the third runner. In the first 6 games, Dowdle topped 46 yards once, 87 yards on 29 carries against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 5. He had more than 11 carries once, although some of that had to do with how out of whack the scores were in some of the Cowboys' losses. He did not play in the Cowboys' 7th game at the San Francisco 49ers because of a game-day illness. But he has had at least 10 carries in each of his past 6 games. He has topped 46 yards in all but one game, 28 yards versus the Houston Texans. In the past 2 games, he posted back-to-back 100-yard outings, the first Cowboys running back to do so since Tony Pollard in 2022. If he reaches 100 yards Sunday against the Carolina Panthers, who have the 32nd ranked rushing defense, 170.1 yards per game, he will be the first Dallas runner to do it 3 straight games since Elliott in 2019. He's obviously grown in every area, Coach Mike McCarthy said. Really proud of what he does off the field and everything. I mean, it's cool to see young men grow and develop. He had that injury bug there early in his career. He fought through that and has really taken advantage of this opportunity. I think like anything, particularly in the running back room, the opportunity to be a number one, having one guy, he's done a good job of that. How good? From weeks 9 to 14, Dowdle's 485 rushing yards rank second in the NFL, trailing only Saquon Barkley, 857, of the Philadelphia Eagles. I've always been confident, even when I had like 28 yards, I came out confident the next week, Dowdle said. I don't think it kills your confidence. The games play themselves out. You just got to continue to try and build and stack off the previous week. Why Mike Clay likes Rico Dowdle to continue his strong play in Week 15. Mike Clay points to Rico Dowdle's volume and matchup against the Panthers as reasons why the Cowboys running back can succeed in Week 15. Entering this season, Dowdle had 385 yards rushing in 36 career games with no starts. He never topped 12 carries, 79 yards, or had a gain longer than 21 yards. But he has not found the workload this season to be taxing. I feel pretty good right now, he said. You got your nicks and knacks from the games, but other than that I feel pretty good honestly. Feel like I can go for another 12. Despite battling injuries, CeeDee Lamb is motivated to win. In a year where CeeDee Lamb says he's been in more pain throughout the course of a season than ever before in his career, there are times where you could never tell. Lamb suffered a shoulder injury in the Cowboys' Week 9 loss to the Atlanta Falcons, and it's been lingering ever since. Still, week in and week out, Lamb is battling through whatever pain comes his way to be on the field with his teammates. Not really because adrenaline gets going, and then I'm trying to make my plays for my guys, I'm not really so much worried about being hurt. Lamb said when asked if he feels any pain during games. When I get out there, I'm thinking about winning the football game. And while the Cowboys haven't won as many games as they'd like through 14 weeks of the season, that doesn't change the motivation for suiting up. Be able to win the game regardless. At the end of the day, you've still got to win the game. That's the motivation," Lamb said. Lamb is diligent in his preparation each week to make sure that he's able to keep up with the physicality of the game, especially when dealing with an injury. Even if he's going through it, he wants to lead by example. "Making sure I'm able to move all my intangibles, to say the least," Lamb said. "At the rate that I've been pre-shoulder injury, making sure that I'm out there for those guys, leading in any way that I can. They know when I'm out there, I'm battling." With that leadership comes being able to help Dallas younger players understand how to handle playing through an injury, and when to know if it's wiser to sit out a game instead of trying to play through something and make it worse. If it's impeding with what you do, as far as contributing to the team and contributing to winning, then I suggest you stay out, because I don't want you to embarrass yourself," Lamb said. "But if you have a chance of going out there and still having an opportunity of withstanding those injuries, still being able to play at a high level, then you're fine." And Lamb's ability to lead by example has been evident to Mike McCarthy and the coaching staff as well, as Lamb's presence alone on the field does a lot for their offense. CD's an impact player, he's one of the best players in the game. It's important not only what he gives us when the ball's in his hands but how defenses react to him. Just where he lands up creates opportunities for others, McCarthy said. CD's a very diligent guy as far as how he prepares for games, so he's a good example that way for our younger guys. He's a huge part of our football team. As the Cowboys get ready to head to Carolina, CD Lamb is 27 receiving yards away from his fourth straight 1,000-yard receiving season. He's already posted his fifth straight season posting 1,000 or more scrimmage yards, becoming the fifth player in NFL history to record at least 1,000 yards in each of his first 5 seasons. All that is well and good, but it all comes back to the original motivation, winning the game. "Trying to play as hard as I can, I'm obviously putting myself out there for the benefit of the team," Lamb said. "And of course myself, I love to compete, but it's bigger than me." Inside why the Cowboys' best fit next coach is Mike Vrabel. We have reported in this space our opinion that the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, should Mike McCarthy not be re-upped for 2025, should be Belichickian, a taskmaster/drill sergeant style boss. Our reasoning? Under owner Jerry Jones, the Cowboys are quite a circus, and they don't need another clown. Someone who commands respect and someone who believes in discipline and accountability would, in our opinion, fill a massive void. And now that Bill Belichick is pulling a Rodney Dangerfield and going back to school, maybe by literally choosing North Carolina over Dallas? One of his experienced disciples, Mike Vrabel, is rising high on our list. Vrabel played for Belichick in New England and in 2018 took over in Tennessee, where he led the Titans to 4 straight winning seasons and an AFC championship game, but was fired last season after conflicting with then first-year GM Ran Carthon. Would Vrabel work at the Star? In terms of Dallas needing a tough guy disciplinarian, it makes sense. But what about in terms of what Vrabel wants? New York Jets insider Rich Cimini of ESPN recently noted that many people assume that Vrabel wouldn't even consider the Jets because he's going to call up one of his mentors Bill Belichick and ask him his opinion of the Jets, and we know what Belichick is going to say, and of course what Belichick will do is trash the Jets, per Cimini. Which sounds accurate. But the reporter added, "I've talked to people who know Vrabel, and he has told friends he would consider the Jets as a possibility as long as he likes the GM that they pick, so he says he doesn't care what Belichick thinks, he'll judge the situation based on its own merit." So what does that have to do with Dallas? It sounds like Vrabel, who clashed with Carthon and with Titans GM John Robinson before that, might not only want to mesh with his next GM, he might even want to have a voice in who that person is. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Mike Vrabel? Leave your opinion in the comments.